Welcome to Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast. My name is Emma Mumford and I'm your host. I'm an award-winning blogger, YouTuber, life coach, badass entrepreneur, manifester and author. My mission is to awaken and to inspire women to live their best lives now and to find their purpose in life. I do this through sharing the power of law of attraction and spirituality. I hope my podcast will inspire you to raise your game and to start living your best life today. Without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode. Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast episodes. So today it is officially my week off, so I'm not just recording a podcast to tell you that, of course, but I wanted to just do a short, snappy podcast to give you some Monday motivation, but also honor that it is my week off. So I'm not doing a full-size episode this week, but I thought we could do a really quick Monday motivational episode and talk about appreciation and gratitude and acknowledging our achievements. Now, this has been such a potent conversation for myself, friends, and peers recently, and it's been so interesting how the universe has brought these conversations to the table. And I thought, you know what, this is the perfect topic for this week's podcast episode, because we are not the only ones feeling this. Everybody feels this. Everybody experiences this. And it's so important that we bring awareness and highlight this to be able to move forwards and to be able to celebrate ourselves more, celebrate life, and actually find pleasures in everyday life and stop striving for the big end results as such. So let me start off by asking you, what does success mean to you? And I think my answer personally would have been very different probably 4 years ago. And for me, you know, if I was to look back and say what would be the biggest highlight, you know, if I could have achieved anything in my career, what would it have been? And definitely being a published author, I think was that for me. You know, I wanted to do talks, I wanted to speak on stage. But I think really for me, from someone who really struggled with English and grammar in school, being a published author, like I knew in my DNA that I was meant to be an author. Like I've said this story before, back when I was like 8 years old, I used to go into W.H. Smith with my mum each week. And I used to go, when we'd look at the books, I'd look up at the bookshelves and they had like the bestseller rankings. And I would say, Mum, like my book's going to be up there one day. And, you know, here I am 3 books later and they are bestsellers. Not necessarily W.H. Smith bestsellers yet, watch this space, but they are. So for me, you know, I think writing a book was definitely something that I always thought, once I do that, like that would make me very happy. And now I've done that 3 times, I am very happy. 4th technically with the one I'm writing at the moment. And, you know, along that writing and author journey, I learned about the publishing industry, and obviously I had a lot of rejections. I had, like tons of rejections, but it only took that one yes, and there was only one yes, really. I'd love to sit here and say I had a bidding war, but there was only one yes, and it was the right yes and the most aligned yes. And you know, the universe brought in Watkins, my current publisher, which completely out of the blue, didn't even consider them. If you watched my How I Manifested My Book Deal stories on YouTube, you'll know this story. But it was divine. It was divinely guided. And I'm so grateful the universe was like, stop. This is what's in alignment. And this is what's going to be the best thing for your books. And now looking back, I'm like, thank God. But along that process, it was hard because when you're constantly receiving rejections, when your work is being ridiculed, when you would receive questionable feedback, which, you know, nobody agreed with, you know, it can be soul destroying, right? It can feel like a massive kick in the gut. And, you know, you're like, how am I going to get up from this? And obviously I'm talking just in that one instance, but that was something for me, like that goal was such a big goal for me. So for me, it felt the biggest kick because it was such a big goal in my life. And with each book I've pitched, I've had challenges, I've had rejections, still lots of rejections, and you kind of do grow a thick skin to it, definitely, because you learn to not take it personally. But that's 3-4 books in. Do you know what I mean? Like, even now, pitching my third book. So when I say third, fourth book, it's because I got the journal, which I published as well, the Positively Wealthy Journal. But my third actual book, it's been exactly the same experience where I've had to really just trust the universe and be like, look. And, I had to really catch myself out of ego and say, look, you have an incredible publisher who see you, who support you, who are so lovely. Like, every single person in Watkins is so lovely, so accommodating. They feel like family. Nothing's ever too much of an ask. They support you, they cheerlead you. And it's actually probably like the healthiest environment I've worked in that kind of capacity. So I'm like, actually, instead of looking at the rejections, instead of taking questionable feedback personally, why don't you look at all of the positives here of like, you don't even need that. And, recently in the membership, we had a beautiful workshop from Dr. Sarah Coxon, who is phenomenal. She's actually one of my business clients. She came on this podcast too a couple of months ago, so you can go back and listen to our episode. And we were talking about wealth. We were talking about abundance. So abundance was the theme of the membership this July. And we had her as the industry expert, and she came in and did a phenomenal workshop. So if you do want to access that, if you're in the membership, it's there on replay. If you want to join the membership, the doors are open. The link is in the description below, and you can also find it on my website under membership, and you can access that instantly, plus all the 19 previous topics as well in the membership. So there's options to watch it. But it was, and I don't ever want to say any people are my favorite experts, because every single one, every single live we've done in that membership has been magical, has been potent, has been so transformational for myself and the queens. But this one really hit the spot deeper than I think any of the industry expert circles have before. And, we were talking about abundance and what wealth means to you. And actually, we were all able to really transform our versions of abundance in that moment. And as I was, going through these things in my book, Sarah said a lot of things that really resonated with me in terms of looking at success and looking at abundance and looking at what we deem as success and our goals and manifestation and everything. And I think there's just so much focus on, I want this, I want that. And again, it's not wrong to want things. I want to say that there's nothing wrong with wanting things, but we really have to look at why we want those things. So my next question to you is, what is your why? If you think about your manifestations, your biggest goals, the things you would really love to do before you die, what is your why? So for me, writing my books was being able to express myself. Like, I really love writing. It's so therapeutic for my soul. It's like poetry to my soul. So as much as I talk in my work a lot on the podcast, YouTube, I actually prefer written work. I actually prefer my books as all of my content, because I can go so deep with it. And I feel I'm able to communicate better with words. And really put thought, feeling, and emotion behind them. So for me, writing is my passion. It's therapeutic for me. It's my passion, and it's my soul's work. So my why is to deliver that to the world and not keep that within myself, to help other people. And if even one person picked up that book, Positively Wealthy, Spiritual Queen, or the next one, whatever, and was like, do you know what? That's helped me see something differently. Actually, that's helped me live a happier life. Actually, that's really helped me to be able to manifest something really amazing in my life. That's my work done. I can die happy. And I think, a lot of people look at money, they look at fame, they look at success. And I don't look at any of those things anymore. And this is why I picked Sarah as the industry expert, because I know she sees things very similar to myself, having worked with her. And she is aligned in that. Like, me and Sarah are very aligned in walking our talk and abundance and business. So what she was saying was just so phenomenal, because it was really eye-opening to a lot of things. And I think it made me realize we're always, and this is something Sarah said actually herself, we're always chasing the result. We're always chasing the end goal and the result. And we never, ever experience the now. We never enjoy the journey. And we never allow ourselves to experience pleasure here and now. And it was really interesting when she was talking about joy and fun. and pleasure, because she was saying, pleasure comes in many ways. And actually, if you can cultivate pleasure here and now, you've already won. You've already won, and you're going to feel abundant as fuck. And it's so true. We rob ourselves of the present moment constantly because we're striving for that next goal. When I get this, I'll feel this. When this happens, I'll feel good. When this outcome happens, all will be well. Well, it actually won't. And it won't. Not because those things won't mean whatever you think it will mean to you, but because you're probably looking at the wrong why. Maybe you haven't identified the actual true why. Maybe you actually haven't identified the core emotional feeling underneath that desire or outcome. So say, for instance, it was joy. Well, you need to be feeling joy now to even manifest that. You need to be feeling joy now to even be able to be in the vibrational match to receive that desire that brings you quote unquote joy. But from someone who's chased that for years, from someone, that was my positively wealthy journey. I've shared that with you guys. From someone who chased goal to goal, outcome to outcome, result to result, it brought nothing but, well, it brought happiness. Definitely it brought abundance, but not true aligned fulfillment. So when you can actually give yourself permission to experience pleasure here and now, the whole game changes, because guess what? That's appreciation, that's gratitude, and that is the present moment. And the present moment is where the magic lies. There's no magic in the past, there's no magic in the future. Neither exist really, they're gone. All you have is now. And if you're not giving yourself permission to appreciate your amazing abilities, how far you've come and how freaking awesome you are here and now, you are robbing yourself of everything. You are robbing yourself of joy, pleasure, and happiness. And I'm guessing there are lots of people listening who are like, yeah, I want those things. So how about today, instead of thinking, I'll be successful when this happens, or I'll be happy when I have this outcome, or whatever it is, whatever the story is, how about you say, I am successful now? How about you say, I am happy right here where I am right now? How does that feel to change that story to now? Not in an affirmation way of, oh yeah, I'll say this and hopefully I'll feel it. How can you actually embody that now? Because you are already successful. You have overcome a lot. You are amazing. You are lovable. You are worthy here and now. You were born worthy. You don't need to do anything to reach a certain place and then I'll be this and then I'll be that. You already are. But you have to claim it and you have to own that and you have to step into it and embody it. And when you do, that's the inner work. Yes, there may be limiting beliefs and fears to address and work with, of course, but that is the inner work. Because until you really step into that vibrational match of healing and present moment, and knowing you are enough, your desires can't come to you. And actually, that's the very secret to a lot of things. And, I've witnessed that even with things I've manifested recently, I was still chasing results. I was still chasing the end result or outcomes. And I was like, but what about the pleasure here and now? What about the pleasure in the very small everyday things? What about the pleasure in the journey, in the process? What about enjoying the in-between bits? Because actually, when we think about it, the in-between bits are actually what makes life. The in-between bits are actually where the most joy, passion, and pleasure can be felt. But we rob ourselves of it because we think that it always comes with an outcome, and we strive and we chase and we focus and we obsess. But you already are all of those things. And, I had to remind myself of this recently of, I don't need to become anything. I don't need to, take feedback on or whatever the situation is. I don't need to do any of that because I already am that. And I am enough. And I am worthy and amazing. And actually, I do have an amazing publisher who sees my worth, who sees my talent, who sees me and loves me for me. Same with the people around me. And you could apply that to relationships. You could apply that to friendships, to work, whatever. Don't let someone make you feel you're not enough because you already are enough. You were born enough. You don't need to become anything to be enough or be successful or be worthy or validated. Validate yourself here and now. You've done the work. You're here. You're showing up. You are successful here and now. Maybe you still got things you want to birth within yourself, but drop the expectations. Just drop them. Because when you drop the expectations and the invisible pressure that you're putting on yourself to achieve these things, life becomes more fun. Life becomes more meaningful. Life becomes more pleasurable. But when we hold these expectations on ourselves, we're just robbing ourselves of so much. And we probably don't even reach the outcome or the goal or the final destination because we're so distracted. And we're actually not doing what we need to in the present moment to actually experience that outcome, that goal from an aligned place. And, you know, like I said with the book deal example, I had a vision in my head of how I thought things would go or how I thought my life would pan out. And again, I could literally apply this to every situation in my life here. And the universe showed me differently. The universe said, hey, why don't you just look at it from this way? Hey, here's this opportunity. You didn't see that one coming, did you? And actually, they've been the best things ever. So I want to challenge you today. I know this isn't the shortest podcast in the land, but it's me, guys. I end up talking a lot. But I want to challenge you today to stop, drop and roll, and to check yourself before you wreck yourself. I want you to write an appreciation list. I want you to write down all the amazing things that you already are. I want you to tell yourself that you're successful. Do it in the mirror. Do some mirror work here. I want you to write down all the amazing things you've accomplished in your life so far. That could be awards and accolades and jobs and money and whatever. But it also could be actually that you're proud of yourself for overcoming a difficult breakup. It could be that you're proud of yourself for learning how to be a good mother and raising your children. It could be that you are proud of yourself for getting through a really difficult time in your life and coming out a better person. Success is not defined by anything. You define your success, you define your abundance, and you define what positively wealthy means to you. So I want you to do that appreciation list, and I want you to embody that you already are enough, you already are successful, and you already are wildly capable, worthy, and amazing, and you don't need anything to do anything. Like, you don't need anything to become something successful, worthy, whatever. You don't need any of those things. You already are those things. So let this be your Monday morning reminder of, you got this. You've always got this. We've always got this. Like, as much as we feel like we haven't got it, we've always got it. We're always navigating things, even if we feel like we're not. We have an angel team. We have a universal team. We have a spirit guide team. We have a whole abundant team around us, supporting us, holding us. You have me. You have this podcast. You have my community. You have people around you. All of us are in the same boat. But don't let somebody tell you you're not something. And don't let the world, the society tell you you're not something, because you are. And when you can redefine abundance, when you can redefine pleasure, and when you can redefine what wealth means to you, or even success, the game is going to change. And you're going to realize how much pleasure you rob yourself of every single day. What was if you just enjoyed the now? What happens if you just enjoyed the now? What happens if you didn't think of an outcome? What if you just dropped the outcomes and goals and, final destinations? What happens if you dropped all of it and was like, this is enough? How would that feel? Now, I'm not telling you to just remove your goals completely and be like, I have no manifestations, I have no goals I want anymore. I just want you to drop the expectation. I just want you to drop that you need to reach that place. And why don't you just do that and see what happens? Because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And this is what happens to me all of the freaking time. Every time I drop an expectation, an outcome, and I'm just like, do you know what? Here and now is enough. I am enough. I need nothing more. Guess what happens? Needing nothing attracts everything. So just let it go a little bit. Loosen the grips, loosen the reins, take your hands off the steering wheel and just appreciate. Give yourself the blessing and the gift of appreciation this week, because you are amazing. And you deserve to celebrate yourself, Queen. Yes. Treat yourself. Do what you want to this week for you, because you are amazing. And don't let anybody else tell you you're not, because you are. And I know you are, Queen. So you got this. Anyway, I'm going to wrap off now because I mean 20 minutes and it was only meant to be 10 minutes. But I hope this has resonated. I hope this Monday morning motivation has helped you. Please let me know over on Instagram your thoughts, whether this resonated with you at I am Emma Mumford, because I would love to know and love chatting with you guys over there. And also share this. If you feel like you want to give this gift of motivation to somebody else, share this podcast with somebody you love today. And hopefully this podcast will bring a smile to their face as well and give them the hope and faith they need, because we are all in this together and we've all got this. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. I appreciate all your views and listens. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again. Don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have a great week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next podcast episode, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.